The next thing we have to do is set up the chatbot so that it can be used on SMS, so that people can use their mobile phones, send a text message from their mobile phone, and receive a response back from the bot, all done on their mobile phone. So we already have a Skype channel set up and a web chat channel. I've already gone through and done this because sometimes it takes a while for the numbers to come over. So I went and did some pre-work, if you will. But I'm going to walk you through each of the steps that I went through to get to here. Now, when you first come into your bot, you won't see the Twilio SMS channel available on the top. What you'll do is you'll simply scroll down and it says add another channel, and you'll see the TWIML down here. By clicking the add button, that'll move this to the top of an active channel. Enabled, it would say no, and that's fine. But as soon as it comes up, you're going to go all the way over to the right where it says edit. And when you get in here, the first thing it wants you to do is to log in, and it gives me a twilio.com URL that I can go to. I could click on this, and it's going to take me to the sign-in page where I could click on, in mine, I'm already signed in, but I would click up here in this corner, it would say sign up, and then you would simply go in, click the sign up, and you could type in your name, address, basic information. It's not going to ask you for a credit card at this point because it doesn't need one, but you will set up your account. Then you can come back in, actually sign in to TWIML, and it'll be presented on this page here, which is your home page. Okay. Next, I can go back into the bot. Let me close these tabs out before I get confused. And next, reduce this one. I can go to the next step of this wizard, and it says it wants me to create a TWIML application. It gives me a link, but also gives me a screenshot, and it tells me what to put in each of the fields. So for the friendly name, I can type in whatever I want. As a best practice, I use the same name for the bot that I created in Azure. I put it over here as the same name so that if I'm looking at Twilio, let's say I have multiple bots, I'll know testbot.jl, which is the name of my bot that I've published over to Azure, is that phone number that matches to that same bot. It keeps things organized for myself. For the voice, it's going to leave it blank. Our bot doesn't talk, so we don't need a voice channel. And next, for messaging, it wants me to copy from below this URL, and actually I would put that into this field. So let's go over to where that is. So I click on that. Oops, got ahead of myself there. So I click on this link here. There's a friendly name. I could type it in. In my instance, like I said, I did testbot.jl. Leave this blank, and then I would simply paste in that URL that I collected earlier. Okay, and then you click save. In my case, I'm going to click cancel because I've already done this. And then I can go back into the wizard, click up. So the next one's going to add a phone number to the application that I created. All right. So here it is. I have managed phone numbers. It gives me a link to that. And also I can see how the screen should look. So I'll see here, I should be on the managed numbers screen, and it should show me a telephone number with the information on that number. Once I get to this screen, I'm done. So I'm going to go back up to here. I'll see there's my TWIML application, all done. If I go into the consoles, here's the phone numbers. Now, since my phone number is already set up, I already have one. However, what you would do is you would click on the buy a number icon, and it'll take you to this screen. On here, it uses my IP address. It knows that I'm coming from the United States, but if I want to, I can change that. I could get a number from practically any other country in the world, instead of using in the United States one, in my case. And next, for the number, if there's a certain prefix that I need, so in America we have area codes. Sure, you may have a local number that you would like to have, so at least it's closer to you. It doesn't really matter. If you do that, if you do have that, you can simply type in what the prefix is. So I'm going to type in 786. That's a Miami number, to make sure it says, okay, it matches the first part of the number, and any capabilities I'm looking for. We specifically need for this number to have SMS. So you could check this box itself, and it's only going to bring back numbers that are SMS capable. Because ours is SMS, it's like the basic type of number that Twilio offers, so it doesn't really matter, but I'll check it anyway. I'll click search. And now it's showing me the numbers that are available in that 786 area code. And I can see it's a local number. It has these capabilities. So even though I said I wanted SMS, that was a requirement. It had to have SMS. It also says this number can also support voice and MMS, or multimedia services. So this is fine. I can click on the buy icon, and it's going to present me with a pop-up box where I can see the number that I've chosen, see its capabilities, and how much it costs. In this case, it's $1. The majority of Twilio phone numbers are about $1 a month, so that's not a big problem. Now, I've already gotten a number, so it wants me to buy a number. The reason for that is Twilio will give you a free number for 30 days. That's how come you'll see in the upper right corner it says trial account. Because of that, when I selected it, I didn't have to worry about the credit card information. I just had to simply select the number I wanted, and it gave it to me again for 30 days. But if I wanted additional numbers, that's why I see here where it says buy this number. I already have a number, so I'm not concerned about it. So I'm not too concerned about it. If I want to see my number, I can simply click this icon over here, which was the little ellipsis. And I'll scroll down to where it says phone numbers, and it takes me to that page again. So in this instance, oops, let me go back. In this instance, it shows my number, and this is exactly where I need to be according to what that diagram said for configuring my number. Now, I'm supposed to add it to my TWIML application that I created. All right, so to do that, you'll notice that my number appears twice. I have one over here where it says North Miami, and then there's a hyperlink. The hyperlink I don't want to use. This hyperlink, if I click on it, because I have Skype on, it's going to try to dial that number, and I don't want to do that. The link that you need to select is this one over here. In my case, it says North Miami, Florida. It shows the location. When I click on that, it takes me into configure the number, okay? And it's going to want me to associate this to that TWIML application I made in my previous step, which is not a problem. If I go back over here, I'm going to reduce this part of the wizard, go down, it shows me that screen again, and it tells me to copy this for later use, leave the voice section blank, and then it's set to my TWIML name. All right, so I'm going to go here. So here's that screen. I'm going to copy this number, scroll down, and then I want to change where it says configure with. I want to change that from what you're going to see webhooks TWIML. You just want to have it selected for TWIML app. And then finally, I want to select my TWIML app, which in this case would be TestBot.jl for me, because that's what I named it. That was that friendly name I gave to the connection for the TWIML app. All right, so next I can go back into my wizard. Let me click cancel. I'm going to click cancel, but you would click save. And I can reduce this and go to the next part. It says now it wants me to find my app credentials and then click on the lock icon to see the auth token. Again, it gives me the hyperlink, and it shows me when I get to that page, I should see my TWIML name, and I need to copy the account SID and the authorization token. It says to click the lock to view. That's not totally true. So when I go in, and if I was to follow that link, it would take me to this page, and I can see here are my account settings, and down here is the live credentials. Now, normally what you would see is we have a bunch of dots here. It doesn't have a lock. I want you to notice that this actually has a picture of an eye. So you're going to click that eye, and then from there I can copy my auth token, I can copy the account SID. If I scroll up a little bit more, I'll make sure that it has all the information that I need. Now I can go back into here. I can do the final part of this wizard, which is submit it for validation. It wants me to paste in that telephone number I got earlier, and also the account SID and the authorization token. Mine says resubmit Twilio credentials. You're going to see the first time you do this, it's going to say something like authorized credentials. You'll click that button, and when they've been validated, you'll get this green box that says that the credentials have been validated, which is good. And if you don't get that, it's going to be a pink box with red letters in it. If you have a problem where it could not validate it, double check to make sure that A, you have that little plus sign here in front of the phone number along with your country code. And also, sometimes when you copy and paste, it'll put an extra space in there. So what you might want to do is make sure there's no extra spaces in the back end of your account SID and your authorization token. Once you've done that, you should be able to press the authorize and it'll validate and say that your credentials are valid. Finally, I want to make sure I check the box here, enable this bot for SMS. And then when I'm done, I can say I'm done with configuring SMS. I can click on it. It's going to want to close the page, which is fine. All right, and then I'll see it's going to bring me back to my page, my Azure Bot Service page, and I'll see it's got the Twilio SMS, my phone number. It doesn't have any issues with it so far, and is it enabled? Yes, and it hasn't been published, which we'll go over next. But first, I want to test to make sure that my application actually is working with SMS text. So I have my phone number, I have my phone here. And I have an application called Project My Screen. It's a Windows application. There's tons of them out there for Apples and different operating systems. But here I've put in my phone number. So let's send it a message. So the first message, I'm just going to say hi. All right, and there's my answer. It says hello, which is, if you remember from when we made the knowledge base, that's what the response should be. Next, I'm going to enter another question. I lost my product key. All right, and so now I should receive a response telling me about what I can do to get my product key back. All right, and here we go. I'll see here that it actually is a very long answer. So this is testing for me. It tells me that, hey, maybe I might want to go in and cut this answer down so it's not so large. So because you can see here, it's a pretty lengthy answer to send through a text message and all. But it works, which is great. All right, so let me get out of that screen. So now I have my Twilio SMS set up. And another thing I want to show you for testing purposes, when you're in Azure Bot Service, over here on the right-hand side, you'll see it's got a little chat box. This is actually a chat that goes back to your bot. So I can actually have a communications with my bot. So I'm going to actually type in, I lost my product key and see what it gets. All right, so here's my response, and I'll see it sent me back that rather lengthy response. Yeah, I definitely need to go back to my knowledge base and work on editing that knowledge base to make this a shorter answer. But I'm actually able to use this little chat box on the side here to communicate with the bot, see what kind of answers, see what the delay is coming back. This one took a little while because it was the first chat I've sent to it, so it had to establish a connection and things like that. But everything is great.